Hi, welcome back. So in this video, you're going to be solving absolute value inequality, okay? And this one is with the greater than symbol, the greater than inequalities. So before I continue, so if you don't have the steps down, please um, pause the video and take a picture of a step with your cell phone, or pause the video and write the step down. So the first step, you're going to isolate the absolute value. Step 2, you're going to rewrite the inequality without the absolute value. And step 3, you're going to solve for the variable x. And lastly, you're going to graph. Usually, when they ask, if I want you to graph, they will tell you, okay, solve and graph, okay, the absolute value inequality. But for our video, so I'm just going to graph it as a step 1, step 4. Sorry. So let's do this. Okay, this is our example for number 2. So remember, step 1 is to isolate the absolute value. So let's isolate the absolute value. So now, when you solve absolute value and parentheses is not the same thing, right? You cannot go ahead and say, okay, let me distribute the 5 to the 2x and 9. It's mathematically incorrect. You cannot do that. It's because of a definition of absolute value. Okay, so the only thing you can do is to isolate the absolute value, step 1. Okay, so to isolate the absolute value right here, right, is to do what? Okay, don't tell me, oh, you have to subtract 5, because 5 is not being added to the absolute value. If you don't see any operation between, it's multiplication. Okay, there's an invisible multiplication dot there. Okay, so you want to isolate the absolute value. So what would you do to isolate this absolute value? Okay, you're right. You're going to divide by 5. So you're going to divide by 5 on both sides. Okay, so but the inequality is the same. Okay, but written differently. So now we have absolute value of 2x plus 9 is greater than 3. Okay, so now the absolute value has been isolated. Okay, why? The absolute value is all by itself on the left. Okay, then what do you want to do next? So you want to rewrite, step 2 say rewrite the inequality without the absolute value. And because it's a greater than inequality, I want to see two disjoint inequalities. Why? Because you want to find the number, basically on the number line. Okay, can you find the numbers that have a distance greater than 3? Okay, doesn't include 3. So it's always going to be the number on the right side of 3 and the number on the left side of -3. Okay, so that's why when I want you to rewrite the inequality without the absolute value, I want you to use two disjoint inequality to represent all the number on the left side of -3 and all the number on the right side of +3. So I'm going to write absolute value, no, 2x plus 9. So I'm going to go with less than -3, because all those numbers compared to -3 are less than -3. Or then you have 2x plus 9 is greater than +3. Why? All those numbers on the right side of 3, which is 2x plus 9, are greater than +3. Okay. So now what is step 3? You're going to solve for the variable x. So please pause the video and solve for the variable x. Okay, so I solved the inequalities. I rewrote the two disjoint inequality and solve it. And I got x is less than -6 or x is greater than -3. So now step 4, we're going to graph it. I'm going to draw a number line. And this is going to be, let's say, 0. And then on the left, I'm going to label -3. So 1, 2, 3. So -3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so you see here, the value of x, the x value are less than -6. So but the x value cannot be equal to -6. So at -6, I'm going to draw empty dot. Then I'm going to shade all the number on the left side. The arrow is pointed to the left. So I'm going to shade all the number on the left side and draw an arrow at the end, because it continues forever, infinitely. Okay, to the forever. Okay, so we shade the left side of -6. Okay. Now For at -3, you're going to shade, so x is greater than -3. So the x value are greater than -3. The f cannot be equal to -3, it has to be greater than. So the arrow is pointing to the right of -3. So at -3, because it's gonna be equal, open dot, and I'm going to shade, oh, I labeled it wrong. So this is, okay, 0, 1, okay, it's correct, 0, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, so a -3 is empty dot because there's no line in inequality. 3 cannot be equal to, x cannot be equal to -3. Then you're going to shade, and you continue on forever, and I'm going to include the arrows at the end. Okay, so any number in this shaded interval region on the number line, we make this inequality true. Okay, but if you pick any number within this area, it will not make this inequality true. Okay, so, oh, sorry. So, okay, so thank you for watching my video. I'm going to make another one. So hopefully this one was helpful to you. Okay, bye-bye.